Hello YouTubers, do you want to see how I made this lovely decking with lights and these porcelain tiles at both ends? Then hold tight and watch the video. Hello YouTubers, welcome to part 3 of my decking and patio build. In part 2 you saw me do the other part of my patio. You saw the trouble I had doing the preparation with the extra slabs. You saw me put the MOT down and you saw me kicking the clips off and the cat helping me. In part 3 we're going to look at the decking now, so hold tight. So let's start this decking. I'm using 3x2 CLS C16 timber. I use the 3x2 as opposed to 4x2 or 6x2 because of the height of the doors in relation to the decking. So amongst other things, we will be using today some joist hangers, some concrete screws, some washers and some packers. Also some tongue tight screws. These are great, you can't see the heads, and a weed membrane and some gravel to stop any weeds protruding through into my lovely decking. So now I've got to just get these two off, move this, and we can start framing the deck. So the plan is to lay the decking over the patio because it's solid sound, but I need a weed membrane and then put the gravel over first. Then I'm going to use the 3x2s, secure them against the brickwork of the garage and the patio wall, and also to secure it with packers and parts of 3x2 cut down to secure every 300mm centres. So the next step is to start making the frame and secure it into the brick with concrete screws, and then the middle part will be supported, the deck, with just forts and 3x2s. So we just need to do the blocking now and secure it to the concrete with concrete screws. So I got my bracing, hangers, got it all levelled. So a good day. It's taken me all day just to get this far. Amazing. So day 4 I think. Yeah, so I got a little bit more done. I didn't film yesterday because of the weather. So as you can see, I've got my joists in, I've got my packers behind the wood to allow water to drain through, 10mm. I've got the bracing up, I've got the noggins, see packers underneath the bracing so that water can't travel up. I will also bitumen them later on in the project. One thing I learned is to try and make sure everything is totally square. So I did have part of this out. I had to readjust it because it would have affected it. This is the second part of the decking. That's just starting to go in, the framing. And here you can see I've bitumen painted everything, 2 coats. Here's the lights. I'm running lights, 5, 10, 15 lights. Luckily I've got power in my garage, so I've simply screwed through. I won't go in how I wired them in. There's loads of videos on about that, but that I plugged them in from my garage. You can see the decking is up near the door there, which is ideal. And noggins are all in, gravel's down, no weeds coming through, and more lights at this end. So here you can see the electrics terminating into the garage. So the 15 lights, the LED lights, are going through a hole I drilled in the wall. And as we walk around now into my garage, you can see where they go in. At the bottom I drilled a 15mm hole and then connected them, and then it goes into the module, and then the mains is through into a secured Wago box with Wago connectors, and that goes into the extension. It's Friday. So today I'm doing the steps, 2 steps to do, which I'll show you in a sec. This is how I'll be cutting it with my 4-inch grinder and a porcelain blade. There's the steps, horrible, ugly, so it just would have looked awful. So I'm going to use SBR primer on the steps, and then I'll use a fast setting tile adhesive with a 10mm bed of adhesive. I've already cut them using the 115 diameter cutting blade and a buffing pad diamond. to just clean the edges off. Real tight. Plan now is to mix up some Brabus adhesive. I've SBR'd it. Don't have to do a slurry because we're using tile adhesive. So crack on. As you can see, the decking has arrived. So I'm on the picture frame now. So I'm using my chop saw. I'm cutting the angles, then I'm using a router bit to use biscuits and then round over on the edges. So here's one that I've done earlier. Put the biscuit in, ready to be glued, and the round over. So it should look a bit better when they still come apart a little bit. So carry on cutting these now. So biscuit in there, round over there. So here you can see a 45 mitre with a biscuit in, ready to glue it together. Hopefully this will stop them pulling away too much as they expand and contract. So you can see I've sorted the picture frame. It's nearly complete. I've had to make sure it is totally square because otherwise it runs off when you put the decking boards on. So I've secured it with the lost head tight screws, 70mm. And they bury in very well, and then you can't see the heads. It just closes up behind it, but it secures it really well compared to a normal screw. So there you can see the mitres, the biscuits and the glue. So I'm going to see how this works. Some people don't mitre the edges, they just butt them up, but I just thought I'd try it. And rounding over the edge just takes away a bit from the 45-degree mitre if it does pull away during the winter or summer as it expands and contracts. So now onto the decking boards. So I've done the set out on the boards and had to start with splitting them in the middle. This gave me equal on both sides, and I only had to scribe the last bit of tile in. Only had to cut off around about 5mm, so it worked out really well. So the whole decking across is full boards, which I was quite happy with. So the decking lights are in and all working. Had a little problem with one of them shorting out, but all good. You can see that I've used a small gap, only about 3mm, because these boards were full of water and they're new. And I always find, doesn't matter in the summer, they always shrink back. So I've butted them up on the lengths, end to ends, and I've just gone for a 2 to 3mm gap between the boards. So decking lights in. Looking good, especially at night. Really pleased with how they come out. I spaced them equally. And it was a good kit I got. 15 lights with, make sure you get a good quality kit or they don't work for long. And make sure they have long cables so you can spread them out like I've done here. So this is all off one set or one kit. So it's day 224. No, not really. I had to wait for more decking boards to come. So I'm just finishing off this main part now, and got some wood in there, 3x2, because I've got to put the board on it. It's got a fall both ways. Trouble is, I did the fall for this and then did the fall for that differently, so it only shows if you know what you're looking at, but mistake by me. So I've got to scribe in the 3x2 in there, so different heights, and then I'll have to scribe in 2 boards because that's just over a board, so we'll have to do 2 halves of a board or 2 3/4 of a board. That's the plan. Since the 3x2 blocking in, and now I've got to split this because it's not a full board, it's a full board and a bit. So I'm doing 2 boards at 65, just ripping them down with the table saw, with the jigsaw, with the skill saw. So this is how I joined the 2 different sets of decking. Let me know what you think in the comments. So cutting the deck boards with my chop saw. I butted them right up, as I said earlier. Every cut end I soaked in wood preserver, and you'll see me now starting to finish off the picture frame for the second part of the decking. I used again biscuits and glue and round over the edge just to detract a bit from the mitre in case it pulls away. So using my small router, I use this part to do the round over part, as you can see there. Then my Erbauer larger router I used with the biscuit bit inside and cut the biscuits through into the mitre. So carry on with decking part 2. I'm doing the mitres now. That's my tricky mitre. I think I did that quite well. I'm sure someone would have done it differently, but I'm doing the picture frame, ensuring that I get each part at 45 degrees, otherwise it starts to run out. So I'm going round my boiler cover and along the front of the door. So here you can see I've put the biscuit in and I've cut it out there with the router. Then I use my glue on both sides and then push it together. I'm hoping this will stop the mitres opening up and down, especially in the winter. And here you can see the mitre finish now. I think it looks quite good the way it's joined, but I could have done it better if I'd not had the decking come past the brick wall. But it worked out okay in the end, took a bit of head scratching. And this is the finished product. I will have to stain it, but I'm going to use oil, but I'll do it in the spring. You need to wait 6 months for the decking, for all the moisture to come out of it properly. So sort of late spring it will get oiled, and I think the oil will look quite nice. You have to let it grey up a bit. So if it was left for a few years, it would go totally grey, which some people like, but I don't. But I'm really happy with the result. So if you'd like to see more of these videos, please like, subscribe and comment. Hold tight.